The Fine Arts Gallery at Mott Community College is showcasing the work of one of its retired professors and frequent political contributor here on ABC 12, and it's none other than Paul Rozycki. Of course, he is no stranger to our program, and Paul, most people know you. You come here, you sit on the couch here, and you talk about politics, but a photographer? Who knew?
It's nice not to talk about politics for once. In fact, these days, getting away from politics might be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, tell us about just your journey in photography before we get to this collection.
Well, actually,
that's on
what's interesting, I began when I was 12 years old with my first darkroom stuck away in the back area of my father's basement. And what's interesting is that in some ways, it led me to political science. Because I worked for a newspaper. I got a job when I was still in high school as a photographer for a local newspaper in DeKalb, Illinois. Did that for about 5 years. Did some reporting, and my career goal was to be a reporter. I was not planning on teaching. But what happened was the advice I got was, well, if you're going to be a reporter, take some journalism, but take political science, history, things like that, which I did. And I did that both in undergrad.
It's good to be well-rounded.
That's right, that was the idea. And in grad school, I was in poli-sci and so forth. But I was still doing photography, and I was still thinking about being a journalist of some kind. And along came a teaching job. But so, ironically, it was photography that led me to all these other things. It was the photography that got me into the newspaper business way back when.
Okay, so, when there was still a dark room.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, in fact, so you've watched the evolution from dark room to digital.
Dark room to digital. And yeah, I still have a dark room in the basement, but I have not been down there in probably 2 decades, but it's in the basement yet. And there was a great pleasure in making prints that way. You're kind of all isolated and all by yourself, and you had the radio on, and nobody was going to bother you down there, so it was very nice. But in many ways, digital is far more convenient. I can shoot a bunch of pictures a day and download them in 15 minutes, and I'm all done for the day.
And so what would you say is your favorite thing to photograph, or your favorite genre of photography? What do you like?
Oh, there's so many. Lately, I've been doing an awful lot of nature stuff. I go out walking at places like Formar a lot, so I shoot a lot of nature things there. But I've also done portraits over the years as well. And I just like frankly, the abstract design of many things when I try and shoot issues.
We're looking at some pictures here of some of your work. Tell us about this latest collection. You describe it as your vision of light and form. There is a portrait among these right there. Is that your grandpa?
That's my grandfather. That's the earliest picture in the show. That was shot probably around 1960 when he was still living with us. And as I say, that's probably the oldest picture in the show. What I've tried to do with the show is really give you a quick sample of the variety of things. Some black and white, some color, a few other things along the way here.
Cactus? Is that a cactus plant we were looking at?
Yeah, that's right, cactus. It's, I think in the Ann Arbor garden area, I believe.
Okay.
There's some hot air balloon things from the Frankenmuth Balloon Show in late May. We go up there frequently. So it's, as I say, there's not very many things that don't interest me photographically, and I enjoy taking pictures of almost everything at one time or another.
And this exhibit, we just saw a snapshot of what'll be in that exhibit, but it runs through April 25th. And next Wednesday, though, on the 16th, you are doing Art Talk with Rozycki in the same Fine Arts Gallery. Tell us about that event.
Well, I think it's going to be more of a question and answer thing. I don't plan to prepare a formal lecture of any kind, but I expect that I'll describe some of the pictures and some of the varieties of photography. I've done black and white, I've done color, I've done hand coloring, things of that nature. And then, of course, with the digital, all kind of new digital things in recent years. And so I'll describe some of that, but I think in large part I'll be taking questions from the audience about what got me involved in photography and how really even today I find it as a wonderful escape. For me, it is not work to go out and take pictures. It's just a relaxing kind of way of getting out of the house.
Yeah, and you take amazing photographs, Paul.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you in studio, and it's a great pleasure to have you in studio talking about something you're passionate about.
It's nice to have a different topic sometimes. It really is.
Other than politics and political science. This is Paul Rozycki, and Art Talk with Paul Rozycki is next Wednesday, the 16th, 11 a.m. at the Fine Arts Gallery. On the campus of Mott Community College, the Flint campus. And of course, you can see all of his photography work on display through April 25th at that Fine Arts Gallery on the campus of Mott Community College. Thanks so much, Paul.
It's so good to be here again on a different topic at least.
Yes.